So you just gotta believe in yourself, and I believe in you. Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabella, and today we are going to be talking about content creation. And I don't usually talk about this topic on YouTube or even on like Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, but this is my full-time job now, being a content creator, which is still crazy for me to even say. I am so blessed that this is what I get to do full-time. And I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of work, and it is stressful in that things are always changing. The algorithms are always changing. The platforms are always changing. The trends are always changing. But that doesn't mean it's not possible. So if you are someone who has wanted to get into content creation yourself, or if you've started and you've gotten a little stuck, I'm here to help. This video is going to be perfect for you. I'm going to be talking about more of the basic ideas of how to get started, but also mindset, that it really doesn't matter what point you're at or how many followers you have. If you want to go by metrics, like vanity metrics, these are kind of things that you need to know and things you need to remind yourself. These are things that I'm also reminding myself when I'm getting frustrated or feeling down or feeling overwhelmed or whatever. So yeah, let's get right into it. Just a little background about me. I have been posting about fandom since 2015, whether that be on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I've been posting on multiple accounts. My husband is an artist, so he has an art account. I also ran a Star Wars style blog type thing on Instagram. I started a digital magazine called a Star Girl Magazine. And then I have my personal accounts where I post about fandom and fashion. And I was able to grow my accounts pretty significantly in only 2 or 3 years. With 2 years of consistently posting on Instagram and TikTok, I was able to reach about 25,000 followers on both accounts, and now I'm sitting at just under 40,000. I have about 13,000 followers, I think, on X or Twitter, and I'm at about 10,000 followers on Threads. So no, vanity metrics are not everything. But just so you guys understand kind of where I'm at as a micro influencer and kind of the results that I've seen from the mindset and the work that I've put in. So I have my phone here, so if I look down, that's what I'm doing. But I drafted up a few questions that I thought would be helpful to start off with, and I also asked you guys on Instagram on my stories specific questions that you guys had so I could answer those as well. So let's start off with obviously the simplest one is, how do I get started as a content creator? The hardest part about starting content creation is deciding that you're going to put yourself out there. And I know that it can feel very intimidating because a lot of times this industry is seen as very fake, very selfish, very all about you, and oh, you just want to post selfies and you just want to talk about yourself. It is kind of a slippery slope. If you're not being intentional and you're not there with the right mindset, that can happen. But I think the best way to kind of frame this is that there are 3 types of content creation. So there's educational, so like this video where I am teaching the audience something. There is entertainment, so that could be like a funny skit, a funny TikTok, something that makes a person laugh. And the last one is engage. So of course you are posting content about you and what you're doing, but you are tailoring it to your audience. So you want them to engage. You want them to comment and share what they think or what they did. You want them to interact with other people within your community. So this is community-based content. And if you can find a way to do all 3 of those things in one piece of content, A+. So an example of me within my own niche, which is the Star Wars community, putting together a piece of content that would hit all 3 of those marks would be, say, taking a vintage Lego set out of storage. So I would show off the Lego, I would give a little bit of history about the set, when it came out, how many pieces, what minifigs were included. Okay, so I'm educating my audience about this piece of Lego history. And then hopefully I would be entertaining them with just kind of showing my personality, being goofy, being excited, talking about why I love Lego, why I love Star Wars, and maybe building the set. And then 3 would be creating something that's engaging. So asking my audience, did you have this set as a kid? Was it on your Christmas wish list? Do you still have this set? Did you have a set similar to this? And then engaging with them in my comments, ideally as soon as I can. So to get started, I would recommend sitting down and thinking about what is something that you can talk about for 10 hours straight. Like if someone just sat you down and said, tell me all about your favorite thing, what would that be? Would it be cars? Would it be Star Wars? Would it be fashion, cooking, educational tips? Whatever it is, figure out what it is that you could talk about for 10 hours straight. And the reason I say this is because whatever you do, you have to be so passionate about it that you can show up every day online to talk about it. I know people don't want to hear this, and this is probably the most intimidating part about becoming a content creator. But if you want to become a content creator and grow your socials and get to a point where you're able to monetize posting about what you're posting about, you have to talk about it every single day. Now, once you figure out what you want to talk about, I want you to pick 2 platforms that you're going to post on every single day. So right now, I think the most important place to post is Instagram. And I say this because not only is this one of the most popular places to post, but it also has a huge range of types of posts that you can post. So you can post static photos. You can just post one photo. You can post a carousel, which is up to 20 photos. You can post reels. You can post on their own Twitter, which is called Threads. So you can do like text post. You can also post on your stories, and you can do interactive things with your audience where they can send in questions or answer polls or interact with you like DMs and all those kinds of things. I think that is a great place to spend your time. The next place I would recommend is somewhere that is video based. So ideally this would be TikTok. However, depending on when this video comes out, TikTok might be banned or sold. So I'm just going to go with vertical video platforms. So that could be TikTok. That's still technically Instagram, but we want to get another platform in there. That can also be YouTube. So YouTube Shorts is an amazing place to post video content that's going to get seen, and it has the potential to be monetized. So a lot of platforms, yeah, you can post and stuff can go viral, but you're not going to get paid for it. So if I were starting fresh in 2025, I would prioritize Instagram and YouTube. And if you can handle a third, I would recommend something that is text-based. So something like X or Blue Sky or Threads, where you can just post whatever you're thinking or react to news in your community or post little blurbs, something like that. Now you're going to make all of those accounts and, take time to really craft your bio, explain who you are, what you're doing, what you're about. Make sure you have a nice, clean profile picture where they can really see your face, that's well lit. And then you're just going to start posting. And I know this is the scariest part, but you just have to post like you have a million followers. You have to approach content creation like people want to hear what you have to say. Because with so much noise now online and with so much competition, you have to show up with that confidence that people should be watching you and should care what you have to say and should care about your influence. If you want to be an influencer, you have to believe it first before your audience will. And you got to fake it till you make it. I'm not saying you got to become this new person overnight that's fully confident, because I was not that person. I was so scared to post online, but there was just something inside me calling me to do this, to put my creativity into something and connect with a community and build something of my own. And if you're watching this video, I'm sure you feel the same way. So you just got to believe in yourself, and I believe in you. So actually making the content, there are a few things that I'm going to say you have to start, and it's going to be a couple $100s, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. So first off, hopefully you already have a phone that has a decent camera. I would say like an iPhone Pro Max 14 or newer. I know the Samsung phones and Google phones have really good cameras, so if you have any of those somewhat recent phones, that should be fine. I'm filming on an iPhone right now. You're also going to need a tripod, obviously, somewhere to put your phone to record, and then you're going to need some lights. So ideally a ring light or a studio light. If not, you can use sunlight, daylight, sit by a window and record your content. Or you can use these little like portable lights that you can put like on top of your phone or just right above your phone when you're recording. Lighting is so important. You want to have crisp video, at least as good as you can do in the beginning. But honestly, that's all you need to start. You can start a full content creation journey with just an iPhone, a tripod, and a light. I can make a whole video about just editing your content because that's kind of half the battle. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see that from me. I'd be more than happy to put that together. I will definitely recommend the app InShot. I use this for all of my content, photo and video editing. It's really simple. It's just an app on your phone and you can edit whatever you need to. They also have like special effects and sounds. You can also put in captions, so when the words pop up throughout the video to keep people's attention. It's really useful. I don't believe the app is free. It's definitely worth it because it just makes your life so much simpler. You can just edit everything in one app and then you can upload it to Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, whatever it is. This is a great question. So somebody asked, what kind of content should I create to stand out? Now, this is obviously like the hardest question, right? Is like, what's going to make me go viral or what's going to make me stand out amongst the millions of other people that are posting? And this sounds cliche, but this is the answer. You need to show up as yourself because there is only one of you. There is only one of you on this planet in this lifetime. And you come to the table with unique experiences, with unique opinions, with a unique look and sound and feel. And that is what people are drawn to when they follow someone. So yeah, they may like their outfit ideas or they may like their collection, but like you're really following that person because of their personality. So the way that you're going to stand out is by being yourself. And that can be hard because maybe you feel like, I don't really know who I am. I don't really know my personal style. I don't really know what my core values are. But turn it into content because how relatable is that? How relatable is that to say, I'm 30 years old, I have no idea what I'm doing with my life, and I'm restarting. And here's my vlog series on how I'm going to become my truest self. People want that. People want raw. They want real. And especially in 2025, from all the trend videos I've seen, people want authentic, real, raw content. So give it to them. The next question is, how often should I post new content? This obviously varies by platform, but I'm going to go off of our three that we mentioned. So Instagram, YouTube, and X. If you want to grow a following, you need to post every single day. You need to post photos or carousels every single day. You need to post 3 to 4 reels a week. So it's pretty much like 3 carousel posts and 3 reels. So 3 photos, 3 videos. If you really want to grow, you have to use reels. I know a lot of people are like, I'm too nervous to get in front of the camera. Just post trending audios. It doesn't have to be you sitting down talking for a minute straight. You can just post trending audios, like look at different trends, like do the TikTok vibe. That's fine, but you need to post reels. You also need to post on your stories like 3 to 5 times a day so your audience knows who you are. And it's really important to utilize Instagram stories because that is one of the only things left on Instagram that is chronological. So it's not based off of the weird, wacky algorithm. It's whenever you post, you get to be in the first spot. So the more often you post on your stories, the more often people are going to see it and get to know you and want to see your content on your main feed. Then on YouTube, I would recommend posting the 4 videos that you made for Instagram onto shorts. So don't kill yourself making 8 videos a week. Just repurpose that content and post it on YouTube. And then I'm also going to recommend that you post at least 1 long form YouTube video a week. And then the last thing is X or Threads or Blue Sky or whatever text-based app you want to grow on. just post, like maybe every morning, check it when you're having your coffee, write a few little blurbs, repost a couple things, like, 5 to 10 interactions on there a day should be plenty. The next question is, how do I monetize my content? So this is kind of the trickiest part of all of this because there are a lot of different ways to monetize your content. So I'm going to use monetization in the broader sense of you getting compensated for posting. So not necessarily you getting 100,000 views on a YouTube video and making $1,000. I am talking about compensation. So that is either free product, free experience, commission, or getting outright paid to make that post. And so the first one being letting the platform that you're posting on run ads on your post. So you can do that on Instagram, you can do that on YouTube, but you have to meet certain parameters before you are eligible for monetization. And you also can't use copyrighted music or have like vulgar things or alcohol, drugs, like any kind of messages. Like there's certain things, kind of with any advertising company, they're going to say like, these are our yeses and nos. On like what you can and can't do. So the thing that's tricky about that though is that it's usually at the discretion of the platform. So they will reach out to you, you can't really reach out to them. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways companies will do this. The most common way is they will send you a free product in exchange for you posting on a certain social media account. This is great when you're starting out because you're getting that practice in. So you're learning how to kind of frame things, how to record things and shoot things and make a believable and reliable ad for this company and connect with your audience. Your audience's loyalty is very, very important. So you want to make sure that whatever company you're working with, you've done a little research on the back end, you kind of see what is the kind of their public image, what are they about, and if they really make sense to work with you. So for example, I am a Star Wars content creator. It probably wouldn't make sense if I was representing a company that made motorcycle boots. I mean, I could, but my audience is most likely going to be like, and keep scrolling, right? Like the likelihood of them going to that website and purchasing motorcycle boots is very, very low. And it's not worth your relationship with your audience, right? So just keep that in mind when you're starting out and companies are reaching out to you. Another way that you can make money is for the company to just outright pay you. So they will ask you for your rates. That's probably going to be a whole other video if you guys want me to cover that, I can. But sometimes companies will reach out and say, hey, we would love to send you XYZ product in exchange for a YouTube video and a TikTok. What are your rates? So that's where they would pay you outright for an ad. So say they're going to pay you $300 to post a TikTok and a YouTube video. So you would make the content for them, and in exchange you would get paid. Another form of monetization is through commissions. So this is when the content creator is paid only when they drive a sale. So if someone buys a product with your code, say it was a $100 product, and you get a specific amount of money from that. So say you get 10% of every sale generated with your code, you would make $10. So that's like a very brief explanation of monetization. There's also a few other ways, like if you have a Patreon or a Ko-fi, this is where people just say, I love what you do and I want you to make more, so here's money. Obviously, that is like the dream monetization. Of course, they are getting stuff in exchange for that donation, so they're probably getting exclusive content, freebies, voting rights, stuff like that. So they're kind of deciding what you're going to create or getting to see stuff first, which is really cool. And that leans more towards into like the community aspect of stuff, which can be really good for your relationship with your audience. Here's another good question. Should I prioritize quality or quantity with my content? At the beginning, I will always say quantity. It's not all going to be good. You're probably going to hate most of it. Like if I look at my old TikToks from like 4 years ago, I'm like, why did I ever post that? So the point is that you're making content, you're being consistent, you're showing up, you're practicing, and you're getting better. Every video that you record, that you edit, that you post, that you respond to comments on, You're learning what you need to know to be a better content creator. So at the beginning, just do it. Another question I received was, is it better to post little things often or big things occasionally? So, again, going off of what I just said in the last question, I think posting often is more important than posting something that you think is like super exciting. And an example I can give of this is, say, if you are a cosplayer. So, if you make a costume and it takes you months to build, don't feel like you have to wait until the costume is perfect and you've taken professional photos to share that cosplay. What's really special about cosplay and the cosplay community is that we're always working on something. And even if we finish a costume, we want to go back and upgrade it. So don't see that as something that is like looming over you. Think of that as something that's like, okay, I can breathe, I can relax, because you want to document the process of making the cosplay. You need to enjoy the journey, not just the final destination. So share the uglier stuff, share the failures, share when you wanted to give up, share when you scrapped an idea completely, because that's relatable, it's raw, it's authentic, and that's what people want to see. People don't want to see how perfect you are and how genius you are and how wonderful you are all the time. They want to see that you're relatable, and you can still be all those things, but not all the time. No one is 100% perfect all the time. And you also want your content to be inspirational. You want people to look at it and say, oh my God, they did that and I can do it too. That brings back the engage part of, the three things that we talked about is, how does this relate to your audience? If you just post, look at me, look how good I look, you're going to lose your audience. How do I collaborate with other creators or brands to expand my reach? So this is a tricky question, because yes, of course, you can reach out to brands and tell them that you want to work with them, but it's usually 90-10 going to be the brands reaching out to you. So I know that's kind of like not what you want to hear, but that's kind of just standard practice in this industry. If a company wants to work with you, they will reach out to you. However, you can definitely be interacting with their socials a lot to get their attention. So like their posts, comment on their posts, share their post on your stories, buy from their company, post free reviews, or just tag them. Like, if you genuinely like this stuff, you should already be doing this. And if you're not doing this, you probably don't like that brand that much, because you're not buying their stuff, So you got to be real. You got to show up and say, "Hey, I love this thing. I love wearing this. I love using this." Whatever it is, obviously genuine. Don't be like kissing their ass. But if you keep popping up in their notifications, the social media team is going to see you. And if you have a decent following, or your following is within the parameters of what they're looking for, they're going to send your Instagram to the PR team, who reaches out to people to promote on socials. How far ahead in advance do you plan your content? And someone else asked a very similar question. How do you plan ahead with what to make or post, or is it more of a spur of the moment thing? So for me personally, now that I've been doing this for as long as I have a huge amount of content to pull from, but obviously I didn't start out that way. So what I would recommend to someone who is just starting out and trying to kind of build up that backup log is to batch content. So especially if you are already working full time, going to school full time, if you have a family, you're busy, you're booked and busy, you got a lot to do, and you're trying to add something new to your plate. So what I'm going to recommend is pick one day a week that you can block off like 3 or 4 hours of uninterrupted time to create this content for the following week. So if you're going to do those 3 photos and those 3 videos, you got to record them then. Stick to that plan so you have at least the content that you need. And then if you have time throughout the week, if you have an idea or you go somewhere you weren't planning on going and you're like, I can create content with this, then do it. Create that content and keep adding it to your backlog. and then over time you will have a lot more stuff to pull from. What I personally do is I put all of my content, even if I'm not super happy with it or it doesn't feel super relevant, if it's postable, I put it all into a photo album on my iPhone. So I can scroll through there and I can see what my options are for posting. And the more consistent you are with making content, batching content, the more you're going to have to pull from. Going back to the specific question of, do I plan ahead or do I just like post things on the fly? I do not post things on the fly. I used to do that in the beginning. It was very stressful. It's really hard to stay consistent and it's kind of not enjoyable. So I have found kind of a sweet spot, I guess a compromise of staying relevant while also not planning out every second of every day. And that is creating content that is either super trendy or evergreen. Evergreen means you can post it whenever and it's relevant whenever. I keep all of that information in that photo album, but I will not frame it or write the caption for it until the day that I post it. So yes, I may have recorded that video 3 weeks ago, but I'm bringing the current opinions and sentiments and whatever to it to the day that I post it. And that also gives me time to kind of bounce ideas around in my head, or maybe a trend pops up and I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. That's hyper relevant to what I recorded 3 weeks ago. And now I can make it fit perfectly for today's post. That being said, of course, there are days where I just wake up and want to record something or want to take pictures of something and post it. I will still do that. And that really helps keep things fresh and fun. But that's kind of like bonus content in my eyes. I don't really count that as like the content that I need to batch. From there, I will take my photos into another photo album, and I've literally just labeled it like IG album. And I've set it up so that it looks like my Instagram grid. So I have like maybe the last 15 posts on there. I have my 3 pinned posts, and then I put like a little border. And then I will drop in the content that I will most likely post within the next 2 weeks. So I will have like 10 to 14 things there that I can then drag and drop, see how it's going to look in my feed, see if I'm like, oh, I posted 3 cosplay things in a row, maybe I should post something else, or I posted 3 brand deals in a row, I should probably post something that's not a brand deal. So, you know, you can kind of see things, but things are flexible. They can be moved around. It's not set in stone, but you feel more confident and like you feel relief of like, I've made my content, it's there, and then whatever I feel like posting that day, I will just drag and drop and we're good to go. Okay, so those were all the questions I had for today. I know that was a lot of information, and I hope it was more helpful than overwhelming. I know starting your content creation journey can be very stressful and a little overwhelming, but I just hope you know that I believe in you, that you can do this. And if you have any other questions regarding content creation, please leave them down below. I would love to continue this series and make more content like this for you guys, because this is kind of like all I do. I'm either creating content or I'm thinking about creating content. So yeah, it's really, really fun. It's really fulfilling. And the community that I've been able to foster because of taking that leap and just going for it, it's completely changed my life. And I'm so grateful for all of the opportunities that I've had to work with brands or collab with friends or just meet people at conventions, like do stuff that I never would have done if I hadn't just said, YOLO, I'm gonna make content and people are gonna like it. My last little piece of advice I will leave you with is that if you help inspire one person, if you help them feel seen, feel encouraged, make them laugh, make them smile, just one person, it was worth making that content. I believe that everyone has their own story to tell. I believe that we can learn from everyone. And I believe that there is room for everyone in content creation. So again, I hope you feel inspired to kind of take the next steps on your journey. I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. May the force be with you. Bye.